Hey everybody, Annette and Joe here at Our Way Farm in Southwest New York. It is sometime the end of May.
10 at night.
No, it's not. It's like 7.
No, it's 8.
Is it 8?
Yeah,
Really?
it's already 8 o'clock, hon.
Oh, shit. Well, dinner's in the oven. Whatever. Anyways, it's later because we had to wait until the bees go to bed. Joe's going to check the hive, check the frames, and see how they're filling. Make sure the bees are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Check the health of them. Check on the queen. And if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, he's going to add a super to it. So,
I don't know that I'm going to check on the health of the queen because the bees keep coming back to the hive. That tells me there's still a queen in there somewhere.
well, yeah, there's
So,
a queen in there, but just make sure she's
The
still.
rule of beehives is 7/10. So if 7/10 of your frames are filled, you put a super on it, or a honey super, or whatever. We're going to do an 8-9 frame, 8 frame super on top of this that is going to give them access to their own honey. We will not access the honey from this super. We will put a honey hive on top of that, which is a flow hive. So this hive, I don't need to smoke them yet. This hive will sit on top of their brood box. There will be a queen excluder that goes between the brood box and the honey hive. That stops the queen from getting up to the honey. So there is no brood in that. Therefore, the honey is harvestable. But because we live in New York, I feel that the hive needs an entire super of honey to make it through the winter to be able to survive. So we're going to forego, if you will, the first super of honey.
Let them fill that up, and hopefully we can put the third one on that we can get
Correct.
our pint of honey just for the novelty aspect of
so
it.
that the hive can survive into next year.
Okay.
Come wintertime, we will wrap it in insulation of some kind so that they survive the low temperatures that we have, and hopefully they make it.
So when you wrap it in insulation, what do you do with the opening where they go in and out? Like, you don't close that off, do you?
Close most of it off.
Oh, you just leave an air gap?
You still have to give them access in and out. You still have to give them airflow. But we will close off. I'll have to Google it to find out what the proper answer is. But I think you close off up to 3/4 of that entrance.
Okay.
You only give them a very small access because right now it's every bit of 10 inches wide.
Okay.
Now, because this is the first time that we're dealing with this hive, after it's been established in a hive, I am going to fully suit up. The last hive I had, I didn't have to do anything with. They were that friendly.
Yeah, but we haven't dealt with these at all.
We have not dealt with this hive of bees at all, so I will fully suit up. Starts with a Tyvek suit.
Sorry about the dogs carrying on in the background. The puppies are playing.
Really?
Yep.
I am not taking my boots off to make this happen.
Why, you don't want your little toes stung?
I don't care about my toes. Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm just not 20 years old anymore. So this is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
And we went the cheap route on the suit because his experience in the past when he had a hive 15 years ago, yeah, you didn't need a
I didn't need
you didn't need a veil, you didn't need gloves, you didn't need anything.
I didn't need anything with my hive.
So we just went with the cheapy version of it, which was like $25, but it was better than 100 and something for the full suit.
So it's a Tyvek painting suit, which I'm really bad with zippers.
Really?
Yeah. You probably ought to just stop the video so we can restart.
You know I'm going to leave that in there now.
Need the queen excluder, so I'm going to put that there. This fancy thing, which is going to cover my nasty hairdo.
Your hair's not bad today.
And if I get stung, you're all going to hear it. So, and we'll put on our fancy safety gloves. Hey, Sophie, you going to try and get stung too? Hey, you didn't grab extra large safety gloves, hon.
I didn't. I got the medium ones for me.
Yeah, well, I guess I can make them work. But
You can see we have 2 dead ones up top, and there's 2 squished ones on the back, and that was from me putting the lid on, the roof on the thing. I was in a bit of a hurry trying to get it done so I didn't get stung. And I was fighting with the veil the whole time because the veils don't actually fit you and they don't stay on your head.
we'll need a lid. Yeah, they don't come down over top of the Tyvek suit, so I'm hoping I don't get stung.
Oh, I put my arms through the holes.
Through what holes?
There's holes.
holes in it?
There's elastic holes in it that I put my arms through.
And we'll need the honey super.
Sophie.
Where's these? Oh.
That's a new way of smoking bees. You're smoking Joe.
So, we have to smoke the bees. So, we went the easy way and we bought the burlap starter stuff. Available at your local, we'll say hardware stores so that we don't endorse anybody. And we light that on fire.
Don't burn your glove.
And the trick to smoking bees is you want to smoke them with cool smoke, not hot smoke. So I let that burn for a couple of seconds. And then I personally douse it, okay, maybe more than a couple of seconds, in pine chips. They came out of one of the coops. And then we can smoke them in cooler smoke. And now we try to go not get stung. You need a pocket knife or some kind of hive tool because the bees will glue everything that is not within their depth range. I think it's 1/4 inch or 5/16 that they want between their hive combs. And if you put more than that there, they'll build the comb out farther. If you leave a gap, they will fill that gap because it's a sealing the hive thing. So let's try not to get stung today.
Willow, you were fed. Yes, you were.
I can tell you by the sound of the hive, they know I'm smoking them. They're not happy about it.
I can hear them. They're very loud.
Yep.
So if the phone drops, it's because I ran.
Yep. And I won't run because I'm fully suited, so. And then I will take my pocket knife or a hive tool and separate the top, which I don't know if you can hear that cracking or not.
Yep.
But that's because they glued it down. It's kind of weird doing this in a suit. And when I say
It's
glue,
glued.
when I say glue, I mean glue. It is some really hard stuff to deal with.
Hey, don't leave your knife there like I did last time because I lost mine somewhere in that bed.
Get it later. So we're going to lift off the top and hopefully not get our asses stung. We'll set that off to the side. What I'm seeing is
A lot more bees than what we put in there.
well, yes, because the brood has hatched. But if you can see on the top there, see how they started to fill hive or honeycomb in the top?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not supposed to drop the smoker. See how they filled this honeycomb in up here? That's because the gap between that and the lid was too much. And they want it filled. They want that specific gap. 7, 8. So this is an 8. This is an 8 comb brood box. So far, they have at minimum 6 of them filled. And I'm going to pull one out here. I'm going to pull out number 7. This is number 7. This is number 7, and as you can see, if you can zoom in that, they have started to create honeycomb hive here at the very top of this. So 7 out of 8 crosses over that 7.
The queen was on the very outside, so what you would call number 8. That's where she was.
Yes. So that crosses over the 7/10 rule. So therefore, it's time to add a honey super. And the other, are you able to zoom in on the top of this, hon? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are fully combed and ready to go. So now we're going to put a honey super on it. Well, no, we're going to put the queen excluder on it. I should probably pay attention to what I'm doing. And we're going to try not to squish any bees, because if you smash a bee, it puts them into high alert. So let's try not to do that. Now we're going to put a honey super on, which will make them super happy. Now, because we live in New York, we have super high winds up here from time to time, I am eventually going to screw these together with a strap from one to the other. We evenly space all of the honey super combs. If the gloves would work with me. Actually, I have not had a single bee on my face or anywhere near me, so
they've been real calm.
This is going to be a more gentle hive. So,
I mean, it's hard to tell on the camera, but I'm about 4 feet away from the lid right here, which, as you can see, is completely covered.
So, we evenly
Oh, they didn't like that.
Yeah, they didn't like it because it's hotter smoke right now.
And you have a cluster on this side and on the edge.
Okay, well, that's fine. I got gloves on. And you do everything you can to be gentle with them, but sometimes you just need them out of your way.
Why wouldn't you just gently set it on and then give it a minute?
Because then it leaves more of an air gap that they have to seal.
Oh.
So I'm trying to make sure that it's as limited as possible.
You have one on your wrist.
Yep, that's fine.
And there's several on the ground. Ah, and that was my flower.
Sorry.
Their flower.
Your flower shouldn't be there.
I gave you a...
These guys need to just go away. Where's the lid?
Behind you?
Your path is not wide enough, huh?
Well, try to stay on it, because it's only an 8x8 box.
Well, I'm not an 8x8 person. And then, because this is a flow hive, this roof does not fit perfectly.
It's not even remotely close to square.
This box, but it will fit to the flow hive once we get it up there. The flow hive honey super. But that lifts the lid, and I don't want the lid to be lifted. I don't care what the roof is, so long as it sheds rain for right now. So it'll just have to be slightly crooked. So right now, the roof is only attached to the separator plate on the top, because this super does not match perfectly to the honey hive. I wish they made one, and they may. I don't know. But if they did, this is probably 10 times cheaper than buying the brand name Flow Hive super. And then we have a Flow Hive honey super that'll sit on top of this once we get to that point.
And that's the one that we can extract honey from.
That's what we will extract honey from, which, in my opinion, will probably get another queen excluder. So the queen excluder is designed to keep out the larger bees. A queen is almost twice the size of a normal worker bee. So it's that simple. I'm obviously not covered in bees, right, hun?
Right.
I can unsuit.
Yeah, and you can hear them. They're going nuts inside, but there's very minimal activity outside.
But now that we expanded their territory, they'll go super nuts with growing their territory also.
So we have had them for a week and a half till we had to add a super.
Well, and the only reason we added a super is because I educated myself and found out about the 7/10 rule. We bought a 6-frame. Sorry, that sort of is a little claustrophobic. We bought a 6-frame super because it's our first time here in New York. Well, 6 out of 8 is automatically a 7/10 rule. I was going to wait till the middle of June to put their super on it for their honey collection. But once I learned about that rule, I decided we're just going to do it now and let them grow. Ever encroach on those 2 boxes, which the bottom box is a honey hive, or a brood box rather. The bottom box is a brood box. The top box is strictly honey for them, so that they can make it through a winter up here. If we turn around and have a hive that's too big, I'll put a second honey super or a second brood box on it so that they can survive the winter, along with the original 6-frame nuke that we bought. Obviously, you buy frames in the nuke. That's how it comes to you. So I hate these things. So we took the original 6-frame nuke and we went more than 100 feet away. That was your cue to turn the camera. We went more than 100 feet away and I took it down to the, what are you calling that?
Well, it's the raised bed garden.
Took it down to the raised bed garden and put it on the back side, because when a hive swarms, they're looking for any...
So it's on the back side of the garlic bed?
It's on the back side, yes, on the back side of the entire, the greenhouse thing.
Okay.
They're looking for any place that's more than 100 foot away that is ideal conditions for them. And apparently they're only looking for so much sun's shade for a new hive to start.
Okay.
So that's about 50% sun, 50% shade, because the greenhouse protects it during the morning. And in the evening, it still gets the sun from that. So we put it down there, so if we do have a swarm, hopefully we can catch our own swarm and start a second hive out of that swarm, which means identifying the queen and marking her and or recognizing that she's bigger. I was stuck watering the flowers tonight because the wife was busy making dinner.
I was going to say, making your dinner. So we put a rain barrel out here that we can fill from the tank in the truck, which is what he did tonight. He actually just ran the hose over and sprayed it. But we're going to paint that up to be a honeybee, or a honey pot rather, and fill it with water. We'll rig up the top so that maybe with some screen or something, so we can open it and it can collect rain as it comes. Yeah, that's a good height.
I know. Can I put it down yet?
Yeah, I didn't ask you to raise it. But we'll elevate that up so that we can do a gravity feed hose to it. You're going to create a drip line with PEX tubing.
I'm going to cheat and try to use PEX tubing to do a drip line for this, which is going to be our herb garden, I think. And this, which is just going to be pretty flowers, hopefully, and honey at some point. just see how it goes. If you don't try, you can't fail. If you don't try, you can't succeed. And I get to enjoy the moon. Ooh, where'd it go? There it went. As it forms and sets itself for the night. So we will have light for this evening without using battery power or any other forms of artificial power.